Ashley asked me if I'd write her a song, so I wrote her a song for her awesome show. Her show is cool and it's
Hi,
lots of
welcome
fun,
to
so
the
get your
Awesome
butt
Ashley
on
Show.
the
Today I have a
radio
very special treat.
every
Since the holidays are coming up, Matt is here, Matt Fogg. He's gonna sing us a little, do us a little tune for us, Christmas style. But first, he's gonna be in the hot seat. First, I'm gonna interview him before he gets in the fun part of the show.
I think this will be fun too.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
I'm well, Ashley. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just want to thank you for inviting
a
me.
little bit about yourself.
Oh, sure. Let's see. I'm a musician. I've been playing the piano for probably about 26 years now, and recently I started taking up the saxophone too. So that's been kind of fun. Let's see. I've done a lot of things with my life. Some things of particular note. Last year I wrote some lullabies for the Lullaby Project with Carnegie Hall, and as a culmination I was able to perform at Carnegie Hall the lullaby that I wrote with my wife, Stephanie. I have a wedding band called Retrospecticus that plays weddings all in the tri-state area here.
Awesome.
And I own a private music school, and we teach kids how to play, and so those are some of the highlights of things I've done in my life.
But how did you get into music? Were you into music when you were a kid, or like?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and I basically what I can tell you is when I was a kid, I didn't really, like when I was young, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. Nothing that I did, sports or other things in school really clicked until I finally decided, or my mom and I decided that we would, do some music. And once that happened, I feel like I really connected with something. I found something that I really liked to do and that I was passionate about. So that was a really positive thing in my life.
And how did you pick the piano? Like, because there's so many different other instruments out there in the world. Like, how did you know piano was your thing?
Well, I actually didn't pick the piano. I picked the trumpet first. And
was that too hard for you to do?
Well, the trumpet is a very physical instrument, and I'm not a physically imposing person. So after a while of playing the trumpet, I started to gravitate over to playing piano, and there was actually a kind of a formative experience that helped me decide on piano, which was that I was hearing some high school kids perform some jazz music, and I really zeroed in on the piano player, and it was really interesting to me. And so the day after that happened, I think I was a freshman in high school at that time, I went to my band director, Terry White, and I said, I think maybe trumpet isn't for me. I think I'd like to make a try at piano. And he really helped me get with a good teacher, Alex Johns, who taught me a lot about what I know. And after that, I went off to school and studied music in college. And
how long does it take you to learn an instrument? Does it take you a while, or do you just get it right off the bat, or does it depend on who the person is?
Well, that's really good questions. The first thing I would say is to master an instrument for anybody, even if you have some natural ability at it or innate talent, still takes thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of practice. There's a bunch of really good books out right now about practicing and mastery. And one particular book I've read says that it takes up to 10,000 hours to master anything, whether it's golf or piano
sports or anything.
Sports, anything. It just takes a lot of practice. And I think if there's one message that I could give to people who are contemplating doing music or anything, which is that you need to stick with it for a long, long time. Especially kids. Like, just because you tried it once or twice, that's not going to be enough to make any real.
To give up on it.
Right. You got to persevere. You got to stick with things for a long time if you want to be good at them. So.
What made you decide to be a teacher? That must be exciting for you to teach your music and stuff to other kids.
Yeah, it's great. I love teaching. One of the things that's great about teaching is that in order to be a good teacher, like a really good teacher, you have to really understand the material really well yourself so that you can explain it in ways
that the kids understand.
Yeah, that everybody can understand. So, in my studio, I might have a 6-year-old kid come in for a lesson, and I might have an 85-year-old man come in for a lesson. There's like a completely different learning style there. The ability to communicate with those two individuals can be very different. So the approach has to change depending on the student, and that's really where teaching style and expertise really come into practice. So I really enjoy the challenge of trying to reach my students and figure out, okay, how best do I need to explain this to them so that they're actually going to learn? Because ultimately, it's my job as the teacher to make sure they're actually learning. And if they're not learning, then I'm not doing my job.
Right.
So.
What is the hardest song for you to play on the piano?
Well, that's a really good question. I have kind of small hands, so anything that involves using octaves, I just don't usually do a lot of those things because it doesn't really come naturally to the size hand that I have. But it doesn't, the physical, the uniqueness of your body and your hands and everything. A lot of people say, well, if you don't have long fingers, you can't play piano. That's not true at all. You just find a way to play the piano that works for you. And so I play a lot of jazz music and popular styles of music like that. And so I found a way to play certain styles that work for me. So I guess I would say, anything that involves like big, large spans with the hands, really tricky for me. So I may not do that because it doesn't work for me. So,
is it easy to read music notes? Like, I've never read music notes, but is it easy? Like, how do you read music notes? I always wondered that.
Yeah, no, I'd be glad to tell you about that. So reading music is it's just about as challenging as learning to read words. It's just like a language, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons why most people don't read music is because we don't teach it to them at a very young age. So like when you were a small child, people would read books to you and you would see the word and you would make the connection between the word and the picture. Oh, that's a truck. Okay, good. I know what a truck is. Well, if at the same time that you were doing that, somebody took a music book out and said, see that dot right there?
Right.
That's a C.
Yeah.
You'd be an expert at reading music now. And it's not that it's hard to do, it's just that it takes time, just like learning the language. And so the reason that most people don't know how to read music is because it isn't something that's taught to them starting at a young age. So, there's so many people, vying for students' time in schools right now. There's so many important things that we need to teach kids: foreign languages, arts, mathematics, science, all this kind of stuff, athletics, music's one of them. It's tough, but it would be great if everybody could learn all these things from a really young age, and that would be it would make more people successful and more people understand music better. So.
Do you do any concerts with your students, like live concerts, like actual? We
do a lot of concerts. I own the Midcoast School of Music along with my business partner, Chris Morrow, which is on Forest Avenue in Portland. And one of the cornerstones of our program is that we have a thriving ensemble program where we take students and we put them together in groups and teach them how to play in bands together. And then once the semester is over, we take them out into the public to perform. Is
that like their final of like the semester?
That's exactly, just like that. It's kind of like, like a chance to show what they've learned, in a live performance situation. And we like to try to take them out to, like nightclubs and, performance venues that are, fun for kids to be in, stages and lights and PA system and that kind of thing. So,
what is the best part for you for being a teacher? Like, what do you enjoy about being a teacher?
There's so many things I enjoy about it. That's a really good question. Let me think about that for a second. I think that one of the things I enjoy the most is seeing students who really connect with me grow, and that makes me really happy because for them, I've done something really good for them, and it makes me feel good that I was able to use my skills and what I've spent my life doing to help somebody else with it. So I would say, I don't always connect like perfectly with every student, but the ones that I really do connect with and create a really strong connection, I think I'm able to help them, and that makes me really happy. So
I think music is awesome. Like, I listen to music all the time. So
that's great. Maybe it's your turn to start learning an instrument.
Maybe, I don't know. There's always a new chapter in Awesome Ashley's future.
That sounds like another show for down the road, doesn't it?
Yes. Can you play us some tunes?
I would be glad to play you a song. I'm going to play some Christmas music for you now. This is a tune called "Oh Christmas Tree."
That was sweet. That was awesome.
No, thanks. So one of the things that you might have noticed as I played the song, you recognize the song, right?
Yes.
But after that, I kind of did all kinds of other stuff, right?
Did you add a little mix to it?
Yeah, do you know what that's called?
No.
That's called improvising.
Improvise.
Yeah, improvising is where a musician takes the chords and the scales in the song and uses it to create other songs, like little mini songs and
That's
melodies.
awesome.
Yeah, and so that's what a lot of what I do when I play jazz music is I'll play a simple song and then I'll take my turn.
Have you ever written your own song?
Yeah, I've written a few songs in my life. Yeah, there was a time in my life when I did a fair amount of writing. Not so much anymore, but I think I've been really busy doing other things with my school and stuff. But maybe someday I'll get back to that.
That's cool. Do you have another one for us?
Sure, yeah, I'd be glad to. This next song I'll play for you, this is a little bit more of a different kind of style of jazz. The first tune was more of, I did this thing called a walking bass line, like that. This next one is going to be a little bit more like in the style of like a New Orleans kind of jazz style.
Awesome.
So this is Jingle Bells.
That was awesome. What is your favorite Christmas music to play?
that's
Since we're
really
doing a
good.
Christmas theme today.
Yeah, I like all the Christmas songs. I think part of the reason why I like them is because I don't have to play them all year round. You know? I only have to play them right around Christmas time. I've done a lot of Christmas parties this month, so
That's awesome.
Yep.
And you do a lot of weddings too?
yeah, my band, my wedding band is pretty busy in the summertime. We do it's a really fun band. It's a 9-piece band, and we play every kind of song that's popular on the radio now and used to be popular, for like the last
Like 80s and 90s?
Yeah, all that stuff. We play all that kind of stuff, and it's a lot of fun. And I think part of the fun about being a musician for me is that I get to do so many different types of things. I've never really been able to just say and settle that I like to do just one thing, So I've always tried to do lots of things.
And people love music, like I love music, so.
I'm lucky. Music is not usually something that most people don't enjoy. So when you show up, people automatically like you because you're a musician. So it's good.
I really enjoy having you today and listening
thank
to
you.
your music. I was so excited
I'm
to
so
have
glad
a
I could be
Christmas
here.
concert. This is my first Christmas concert on the Off the Master show. So.
Well, maybe next year you can play some music.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe we'll do a duet next year. We'll get you into some piano lessons, maybe.
That'd be awesome.
All right.
Can you play another one?
Sure,
for
I'd
us?
be glad to. This next song I'll play for you. This is a really pretty ballad called "The Christmas Song."
That was really sweet. I
Thank
like
you very
that
much.
one.
Thank you.
I think Ben might join us.
Well, that'll be fun. You'll have 2 Fogg brothers on your show.
I kind of rushed in real quick. I wasn't quite ready. So anyway, he's pretty good, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. You think you could play like that?
Not as good as that, but I'll try.
Maybe we'll get you into some lessons, right? We'll start you off simple. You can play some Nick Lachey music, 98 degrees.
Degrees.
Yeah, 98
Or Andy
degrees.
Grammer. Andy Grammer is my new man.
Andy
so
Grimm?
Andy Grammer.
Grammar, yeah.
Andy Grammer, I don't know who Andy Grammer is, but Justin Bieber, something like that. We'll get you play, right? And then next year, maybe you can play. One thing I would like to say, so I don't know if I think I may have told Matt this, but if I haven't, I'm gonna say it to him again. So I played sports all growing up. I played clarinet when I was in 4th grade for like 3 months, and I didn't particularly like the music teacher, and I quit, and I never played again until I was like 21. And when I was in college, I went down to UNH, the University of New Hampshire, where Matt got his music degree, and I saw him do his, what do you call it?
It would have been my classical piano recital for my senior, my senior project there.
And I said, I want to play music. So had I never seen Matt play music, I would have never started to play guitar or piano or anything.
I'm glad to.
See?
So it's the greatest thing, and anybody out there, I don't care if you play sports or if you like to cook. I mean, you can play music. Anybody can learn how to play an instrument. I have small hands too. Don't make excuses. Get an instrument, stick with it, and no matter what it is that you want to do, it takes a lot of time to get good at something. And I just think music is great, and I think everybody should have the privilege to learn how to play music.
I love music, so
Next year, Ashley,
next year.
it's your time.
Midcoast School of Music. So I'm thinking maybe I'll read a little Christmas. I just happened to be in the studio today. I was here to pick up my check, and so I just figured maybe I'll just read a little Christmas.
Maybe you join us?
Yeah. So maybe Matt can play a little background music.
I think I will,
You
Ben.
want to wear the hat?
No, you can wear that.
You want me to wear the hat? I'll wear the hat. Okay. So I'm going to read a little Christmas poem. So this is called The Night Before Christmas by Clement Clark Moore. Perhaps the audience members at home have heard. Yeah, come on, come closer. Yeah, sit real close to the TV. All right, well, not too close. Okay, so 'twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for our long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the lust of the midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers their name, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a round little belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of himself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings and then turned with a jerk. And laying his finger aside of his nose and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like a down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night."
That was awesome.
Yes, I may have messed up one of the words there, but that was an accident. I take off this little ringing hat there, so. So that's it, huh?
Yeah.
Anything else you wanna ask? Ask the maestro.
How hard was it for you to learn the piano for you?
Well, I mean, in a way, I'm still learning every day. You know, I think the things about becoming a musician is it's not really like about climbing the mountain and then, putting your flag up there and saying you climbed the mountain. It just doesn't work that way. Every time you get to the next point on the mountain, it just gets higher. So it can be frustrating. But one of the things that
Sounds wonderful though when you play.
Thank you. That's really kind. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. What it is it's understanding that every time you sit down to practice, you have to work on something that you don't know how to do. And if you do that, you will always improve. And so I've been playing a lot more saxophone lately than piano because that's kind of my new hobby, my new interest.
Is that harder to play than the piano?
It's different. I wouldn't say harder. In some ways it's easier. In some ways it's more difficult. It just depends. Like every instrument has its own unique challenges and unique problem areas. Mm-hmm. So like when I played trumpet's a very physical instrument. I don't know, I just, for whatever reason, didn't connect with me. I'm not the most physically imposing person you've probably seen. So piano was a better fit because it was less physical. Saxophone, there's other issues. With the saxophone, like one of the things you notice about piano is I'll often play more than one note at the same time, right? Well, on a saxophone, you can only play one note at a time. So you can't play chords on a saxophone, you can only play melodies, And so that's a different kind of challenge, to be more of a lyrical and melodic player as opposed to a harmonic player, So like on a piano, I could play something like these really rich chords. Well, on a saxophone, I'll never be able to do that.
You can only
play one note at a time, right? So like I say, every instrument, has its own unique individual challenges, and it's just part of, it's part of the beauty of learning an instrument. Everything's unique, just like people, we're all unique, right? So.
Yes. How would the viewers find out more about your school? Is it on Facebook? Is it on?
Yeah,
do you have a website? Like how?
We do.
How would people find out more information if they decided, I want to be into music and want to join? Like how would they?
Yes. So we've got several ways you can contact us. The first way is through our website, which is www.midcoastschoolofmusic.com. All one word, no dots, no spaces or anything. You could also check out my website, which is www.mattfogg.com, 2 T's and 2 G's.
That's cool. You have your own website. That's
do,
really cool.
You have to promote yourself if you want to be a musician that earns money these days. So it's all about getting out there and making sure people know what you're doing. Because my advice to anybody who wants to get into making money at music is that you don't stay at home and wait for things to happen. You got to go out in life and make them.
You have to do it.
Got to do it yourself. You got to make things happen. You got to be entrepreneurial. And you got to think of ways to try to get people to value what you do. You know what I mean? And so one way that I've done that is I've started a school where education, the education that we provide to kids is a value. It's we're providing a service and people are willing to pay for that service. So yeah.
What is your New Year's resolution? First you, and then I'll ask you.
So whatever I say, you're probably going to send it to me in a year and make sure I did it right. Well, let's see. I probably have several. we're getting ready to welcome our daughter into the world here. My wife and I.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited about that. So I resolved to try to be the best father I can for our daughter. Her name's going to be Palix Ann Fogg.
That's awesome. I like that name. So pretty.
Thank you. And I guess I also resolved to probably, do what everybody says, like lose a little weight, take better care of myself, and maybe continue to work hard on learning the saxophone. So
That'd be
those are a few
awesome.
resolutions for me. How about you, Ashley?
I've been working really hard on the treadmill. So
Oh, that's great.
Trying to get my muscles strong.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to keep my muscles going. So
That's good, yeah.
They don't give out on me. So that's
Yeah.
my goal, is to keep being healthier, and
Good.
so I can keep my muscles going. So that's my resolution. What's yours?
Oh, geez. That's a tough one. I think, after watching Matt play today, I realized that lately I've been so busy with things that I haven't probably put as much time into practice, into practicing the piano and into guitar as I would like to. So I think, continuing to put time into that. And I think Matt brings up a good point too, is, putting yourself out there. And I think that's one thing I'd like to do more, is put my stuff out there more, put myself out there more to try to create some more opportunities. So, and then, I don't have kids, but I do live with my girlfriend in South Portland.
And Frank.
Our little beagle, Frank. And so I think just continuing to enjoy the time that I have with them, because it's fun. So yeah,
That's awesome.
and to value my family and friends. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I hope everyone enjoyed the show as much as I did. This was an awesome treat. Thank you both
Oh, you're
for
welcome.
coming.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for playing the piano.
Who's older, by the way? Who's the older? Who's the eldest brother? Do you know?
Well, I think you know who the smartest one is, Ashley. So.
Well, clearly I'm not very bright. I mean, I'm bright when I wear the hat.
Something happens. I don't know.
I think where's the button on this? Is there a button? Anyway.
But there is a button.
Matt's my older brother, so there's three of us. Three of us,
There's
actually.
Chuck, right?
Yep, Chuck's the youngest brother, but we're all 1 year apart. So maybe next year
That would be something.
We'll have a
I don't
bunch.
know.
That'd be cool to have like all the Fogg brothers.
Imagine that,
Like that'd
yeah.
be so cool.
We should start a band, and then we'll play a song together next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we
It'll
should
be
do.
like the Brady Bunch band. Remember
That's
that?
a great idea. Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, to get you in the Christmas spirit. Hope you all have an awesome Christmas and a happy New Year. Thanks from the Awesome Master Show and crew. Bye, everyone.